Hi, this is Ruth Theresa with One Inspiring Woman, and today we're doing the astrology for the second part of May 2023. And the first part had a lot of stuff going on, and so it's not going to end. We still have lots of stuff going on, but it's going to be amazing, and it's kind of not too overwhelming. Where the first part you had a whole bunch of stuff going on a whole bunch of days, and this one we have kind of like spread out over each day. There's a little bit something different, so it's kind of like a much easier, I think, energy to deal with. But hold on, we're going to talk about all the details. So let's talk about the details. First off, May 16th, we have Jupiter entering the sign of Taurus. And it's one of those, it hasn't been Taurus for a long time, but it's going to be really in Taurus for the rest of this year. So it's going to be in there for quite a while. And this is really a big deal. It's one of those, we kind of get Jupiter, the planet of like expansion, growth, luck, abundance, entering the sign of Taurus, which is grounding and stability and security and confidence. So that's kind of like, wow, how is this going to work through us? It's going to be pushing our confidence and kind of like, what do you want to do? What do you want to build? What do you want to create? Where do you want to pursue? Kind of like, what are your dreams? What are the possibilities? The improvement part, kind of like, what do you improve? Like maybe it's your house, maybe it's your business, maybe you want to start a business. All of those things are going to be like pushing that energy at us. And this is going to make us feel more connected because our Taurus part is because it's going to be very grounding. And so you may feel more grounded. You may feel kind of like more connected to Mother Earth, wanting to do things. Maybe instead of like going in an airplane, you want to drive. So you're going to kind of feel that more grounding with our Taurus energy for the rest of the year. So that's an amazing one. Next, on May 17th, we have Jupiter in Taurus squaring Pluto in Aquarius, and the squares are all about kind of like that challenging energy, kind of like which one's going to win. And which one's going to win? It's actually whichever one you're more connected to and what's going on. So it's kind of like what is in your natal chart is really the question to answer. Let's see, Jupiter, our planet of luck, growth, expansion, in the sign of Taurus, grounding, stability, security, all of those kind of pushing your energy a little bit more because it's like Pluto in the sign of Aquarius. Pluto is our underworld, kind of like what are the things that we don't want to take care of? What are the things that we kind of shove to the back of the closet? What are the things that we kind of like, I'll do it later, I'll do it later, I'll do it later. Those things are going to be kind of coming forward in that Pluto energy, that energy of the underworld. And Aquarius energy is that rebellion kind of side. Like, what do we want to fix? How do we want to change? How do we want to upgrade things? And really kind of with both Jupiter and Pluto fresh in brand new signs. Like Pluto just went into a new sign May 1st. So this is going to be kicking off some new angles, kind of some hard angles, kind of like pushing one another, and also kind of pushing you. And it could be pushing other people as well to kind of fight for power and control, kind of like who's going to be the winner, who's going to win on this. And if you have a lot of people in your circle that are always striving, those people that are always kind of like, I'm going to get there, that challenge, they love the challenge, those are the ones that are going to be like scurrying up, kind of like which one is going to push me the fastest. And this could be kind of in your own personal power as well. Kind of like, what do you want to push yourself into? Is it kind of clearing out the old stuff, or is it kind of expanding and moving into more of the luck, the abundance side? And it just depends on each personality, because a lot of people would be like abundance, but sometimes we really have to clean out the old stuff before we're ready to move into the abundance. This can also make a lot of transformations and a lot of upgrades, and I guarantee people are going to feel that wanting or that desire to ground themselves. I often tell people, and I did a meditation video on this, of like grounding meditations are amazing, they really are, yet at the same time we want to do it sporadically. We don't want to do it all the time. We want to do it from time to time to kind of just keep connected to Mother Earth, but we don't need to be connected like all the time. It's not necessary. Okay, let's move into May 18th. We have our sun in the sign of Taurus, sextiling Neptune in the sign of Pisces. That sextile energy is kind of like creating opportunities, kind of which one's going to be the cheerleader, kind of which one's going to be pushing their energy. So our sun is all about our ego, and that's in the sign of Taurus, which is like I said, grounding, security, stability, and that's kind of like cheerleading us. Sorry about that. So our sun in Taurus is going to be sextile, kind of pushing us, are kind of creating opportunities with Neptune in Pisces. Neptune is our planet of dreams. So kind of what have you been daydreaming about? What have you been wanting to do? In the sign of Pisces, it's all about that flow and that intuition, kind of like reacting to things, kind of what's coming at you. Your intuition is going to be at a high today, like really, really strong, and kind of keeping you connected to your spiritual side. So this is a great time to do like a meditation and kind of what do your subconscious mind want to come forward with. And you could also be feel yourself a little bit more compassion with that Taurus energy, kind of like really desiring to assist other people, or kind of stepping out of your way to kind of even give someone a hand or doing something else. So it's kind of like pushing that energy a little bit. Let's go to May 19th. We have Mercury in the sign of Taurus, sextile Saturn in the sign of Pisces. So Mercury, communication and kind of thinking. We also have that in the sign of Taurus, which is grounding, stability, that sort of energy. Sextiling is all about kind of like creating opportunities, creating cheerleading opportunities, kind of like which one's going to win. That's Saturn in the sign of Pisces. Saturn, structure, infrastructure, and Pisces all about the flow or the movement in there. And discipline energy is going to be really helpful, kind of keeping yourself focused. And you can find things to focus you on, kind of doing your to-do list, getting ready for this day, kind of getting all of that energy going in the right direction and seeing things clearly, kind of like not giving yourself kind of like that, like, oh, it's going to be 5 minutes and it ends up being 5 hours to do something. Like giving yourself that kind of amazing energy is going to be really great today to kind of, what do I want to see? What's the big picture that I want to look into? Let's go to May 20th. May 20th, we have Mars entering the sign of Leo. Mars, our planet of aggression, action, warrior status, entering the sign of Leo, which is all about like being the leader, being the kind of the lead of telling everybody else what to do. Kind of like that energy is going to be really bringing us. And a lot of times, like Leos love the limelight, and so this could push a lot of people kind of wanting that 5 minutes of fame or 15 minutes of fame, kind of pushing that energy. Energy is going to be surging into new projects, new adventures over the next few weeks. This can also kind of pick up some old hobbies that you've kind of left behind. This could be really like, okay, here we go. Moving into new hobbies, kind of, and making more time for kind of like just relaxing and kind of finding that, like, what are the things that make me happy? What are the things that I'm finding bring me joy and happiness. Leo is kind of rules over our heart and kind of our love at times too. And there can be more energy of showing affection to each other. So that could kind of amp up our romantic side and letting your heart kind of lead the way, kind of like, what is that lead? What is the things that are really going to make you happy? So many times we kind of push that aside and kind of just stay in that energy of like, let's just, it's okay. We'll deal with it later. This is the energy of like pushing you, like, what are the things that you love? What are the things that you really want to bring forward in this energy? Also on the 20th, we have Mars in the sign of Leo, opposite, in opposition, Pluto in the sign of Aquarius. So Mars, action, aggression, Leo, all of that amazing energy of Leo, like expression, ego-driven, kind of like self-confidence. In opposition is all about kind of like, kind of that tug of war of like, what do I need to compared to what do I want? Kind of that need, want kind of energy. And this is pushing like Pluto in the sign of Aquarius. Pluto, our planet of underworld, things that we don't want to work on, things that we want to like let go of. And in the sign of Aquarius, kind of that rebellious kind of energy, kind of like, what do we want to do? Mars is going to be like brand new, because we just talked about it 5 seconds ago. Mars is newly in the sign of Leo, so it's going to be coming into a hard angle with Pluto, and there's going to be some extra kind of like pushing and pulling and trying to find like, what do you want to do and how do you want to do it? So you may find yourself in a couple of like inner struggles of kind of trying to find a middle ground of like, what do you want compared to what do you desire to do? Kind of what do you want compared to what do you need to do? And being able to understand that taking some time out for others can really do well, kind of adding that Leo energy, that love energy, that romantic side, can also kind of make us push ourselves to kind of like be honest with ourselves, kind of like honest with like our path of where we've been and what we want to change or modify in our life. This is going to be pushing that energy really, really well. Next, on May 21st, we have our sun entering the sign of Gemini. This is going to be great because Gemini is all about communication, our ideas, our plans, kind of like, what do we want to do? And it can also be pushing us, because of all of that, it's kind of be pushing us with that sun is our ego. So kind of pushing us kind of like into like, what do we want to do, and what is going to bring us recognition, what's going to kind of get us out of our comfort zone and kind of bring in more recognition. And you can find yourself like being completely busy with different projects, that sort of thing. But it's also kind of like a great way to think of like, what are the new ideas? What are the new things that I want to bring in? Because sun's going to be in Gemini for about 30 days. So it's kind of like, what are the things that I want to do next? And talking through things like, if I do this, do I have time for this? Do I have this? Do I have this? This is going to be a great way to kind of like think about that energy. Also on the 21st of May, we have our sun in Gemini trining Pluto in the sign of Aquarius. And so our trine is all about finding that agreement, that easy flow between the two. Sun, ego, Gemini, it's all about kind of like thinking about things, our communication, trining, like I said, that's all about kind of like finding the flow with Pluto, our god of our underworld, kind of like the things that we don't want to deal with, the things that we kind of want to hide in the back, in the sign of Aquarius, kind of our rebellious energy. And you're going to find yourself kind of with more power to kind of like, I want to make some inner transformations. I want to like let things go that have been holding me back, kind of allowing more power to kind of bring up to your self-confidence and your ego. Like, I really want to bring this out. I really want to bring this out to a new level. And it can also really amp up your comfort level and kind of like expand it a little bit. Like, this was my comfort level before and now it's here. And bringing that energy in and kind of like already feeling the power that you already have. That's part of that sun energy in there. So that's going to be really amping up some things for us. Next, we have May 22nd. We have our sun in Gemini sextiling Mars in the sign of Leo. Like I said, sun, ego, Gemini, communication and intuition. Sextiling is all about kind of like creating opportunities between the two of these. Mars, our planet of action, aggression, and motion, in the sign of Leo, which is all about like our love and kind of like our self-confidence and kind of our self-centered energy. This is really going to be like an energy can be abundant this day, and we can really find like a lot of joy in focusing on physical activities, kind of like going for a walk, kind of going for a hike, kind of getting out and moving around. And this can also kind of go into like hiking, biking, moving around, and you're going to want to get out and do more. You're going to want to be like, yes, I'm out and about today, and really kind of feel that energy amping you up, especially with that sun in the sign of Gemini. Next, let's move to May 23rd. We have Mars in the sign of Leo squaring Jupiter in the sign of Taurus. So let's talk about this. We have Mars in the sign of Leo. So Mars, action, aggression, motion. Leo, kind of that self-confidence, kind of the leader, kind of that self-centered energy. And I will say squaring off against kind of like being very challenging with Jupiter in the sign of Taurus. And Jupiter is all about abundance, luck, wealth. Taurus, grounding, stability, calm energy. And this can be a very challenging day in finding motion that can kind of take us into kind of new action. This can make us feel good about not wanting to do anything at all, kind of like just chilling out for the day. You may also find yourself kind of like, I feel like I'm in a place where I can't move around, or I'm not as flexible. And this is going to kind of people kind of opening up into more motion. But a lot of times, like, that stuck energy is going to be really like, at times we're going to be like, yes, I love it. And then the next minute we're like, okay, I'm over it. Okay, I'm over it. I need to move. I need to get out. I need to be moving around. Let's see. Next, let's move to May 25th. We have our moon in Leo squaring Mercury in the sign of Taurus. So let's talk about this. Our moon is our ego. Moon is our emotions. Leo can be that self-centered kind of pushing energy. Squaring off is going to be challenging and kind of like finding the cross purpose. Like, how are we going to work this together? This is Mercury, communication, all kinds of communication, and thinking in the sign of Taurus, kind of like that grounding, stable energy. This is the best day for communication. If you got to talk about something, this is the great day to do it. Even if it's bad news, this is going to be kind of like a day that you're going to want to communicate. But I will tell you, make sure that you are clear with your communications. And if there's any misunderstandings, make sure you clear them up very, very quickly. Overthinking your words can be really powerful today, of kind of like, how do I want to say this, and how is this person going to hear it from me? That's a really great way to think about this energy. Next, let's go to May 26th. We have Venus in the sign of Cancer, sextile Jupiter in the sign of Taurus. Let's see, Venus, planet of love and details, in the sign of Cancer, which is all about kind of nurturing emotional energy. Sextiling, this is all about kind of like creating those opportunities. Uranus, our crazy hippy-dippy planet of kind of like change and moving things around, and that is going to be kind of in the sign of Taurus. So that's already going to be like a weird one, because this moving planet is going to be in the sign of Taurus, which is all about grounding and stability. So that's already going to be like, where are we going with this? New people can literally like come into your life and kind of really take an important status really quickly. This is also can be open to kind of like unconventional, or kind of like those free spirits. And you can really enjoy like exposing your social circle and kind of adding them to what's going on and getting to know new people in some ways that you may not have already done that. And it could be some people, it could also be a love interest, because we've got Venus in there, but it could also be just people that you're kind of like, we have so much in common, or they're kind of like pushing me in some really good, healthy ways to kind of get out of my comfort zone. Let's next go to May 28th. We have our sun in Gemini squaring Saturn in the sign of Pisces. Our sun, our ego, Gemini, communication and intuition. Square is all about working our cross purposes, kind of like that challenge energy. Saturn in the sign of Pisces. Saturn is all about structure, infrastructure, and it's in the sign of Pisces, which is all about flowing energy, kind of moving things around, and can kind of bring in a great new imagination. Like today, you were like on the 28th, you were going to be feeling like this hard work and responsibility may not be interesting to you at all. You're kind of like, I don't want to do that. I want to kind of do something that really works for me. So this may be a great day to take a break. This can be everything can be a little overwhelming today, because we've got so many like cross energies coming in at us. And this is a day that kind of that free spirit is going to be like soaring, bringing that amazing energy at us. And like I said, if you can't, it's okay. Kind of find something different. Kind of find some things that really interest you. Find some things that really just like, yes, this is what I want to do. Let's go next to May 30th. We have our moon in Libra trine our sun in the sign of Gemini. So moon, emotions, Libra, balance. Trining is all about kind of that easy flow and communication. And this is our sun is our ego, and Gemini is all about our communication. So this is a great to take care of your own wants, needs, and desires. And this could also make us feel more at ease and more comfortable with what's coming out, kind of like the results. Giving yourself a priority and giving yourself time to kind of really take it easy today is going to be kind of like, yes, this is what I totally desire today. This is what I totally needed to do today. So make sure that you're giving yourself a break. Make sure that you're giving yourself a great insight. Make sure you're giving yourself a great boost of relaxation on May 30th. I thank you so much for joining me today, and I know that we'll be talking again soon.